Well, good morning, XANGO Nation. We have an exciting call lined up for you guys this morning. We have a great call. We are so excited to be with you guys. As always, we want to start these calls with gratitude. Thank you so much for getting up in the morning and spending some time with us on our Get Amped call. But most importantly, thank you so much for being a part of this amazing lifestyle that we love to call XANGO. We're also grateful for the opportunity we have to be with you, sharing with you, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have the opportunity to do what we love, and that is spending time with each and every one of you. So thank you so much for all that you guys do for us each and every day. It is a beautiful day to be alive. It's a beautiful time to be a part of this amazing company called XANGO. We're going to talk a little bit about that this morning. So we've got some great things coming up in the next month. These calls, for those of you who are brand new or for those of you who are listening in for the very first time, these calls are set up to, they're called our Get Amped calls, and they're Wake Up with a Six-Figure Earner, and it's all about motivation, personal development, skill building, skill learning, and we've got one of the best on the call, and I'm going to introduce him here just in a second. So just really quickly, a few quick announcements. It's the beginning of the last week of April. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. I had to look at the calendar this morning to see what day it was. But starting the last week of April, and so we've got some great things coming up. Mother's Day is in May for those of us who love our mothers, which is every one of us. Yes, shake your head, yes. It's Mother's Day, and we've got an incredible Mother's Day special that we're going to be introducing this week. We've got some great things. So the promotions that we have currently running right now in the U.S., Canada, Australia, New Zealand, as well as in Europe, is our 1K, 5K promotion that's going on right now. Get to 1K in your first 30 days, earn a $100 bonus. Get to 5K in your first 90 days, you get a $250 bonus. Great opportunity, great incentive. As you guys know, our comp plan after that into the 10K, you qualify for the car bonus, which is $400. 20K, you get the rank advancement bonus plus the car bonus, and it just goes up from there. So awesome opportunity to take advantage of getting a rank advancement bonus at these lower levels. That ends at the end of May. So make sure that those of you who've been with us for a while, those brand new people you're introducing to this lifestyle, that you're plugging into that rank advancement bonus. The other promotion that we have is our Escape to XANGO Paradise, where we're going to be going to the Mexican Riviera in August. There's plenty of time to qualify for that trip. So please make sure that you're focusing on that you've got that goal set, that you're working towards qualifying for that amazing trip. It's going to be a trip of a lifetime. For those of you who went last time, I know a lot of you are trying to qualify again just because it's such a phenomenal opportunity. So, and then as you guys may have heard on the last Get Amped call on Thursday, if you haven't listened to it, go to XANGOpowerof3.com, go to the recordings, and click on the last WWT. We launched a brand new market in XANGO, one of two that we're going to be launching in the 2016 year. This one has the potential to be one of the biggest markets of XANGO. It's the U.S. Spanish market, and there's a promotion that's tied to that. So for those of you who are interested in the U.S. Spanish market or building in the U.S. Spanish market, or for those of you who are in the U.S. Spanish market, make sure you go listen to that webinar. Listen to the details. There's some phenomenal things. We're in pre-launch phase now. We've got an incredible launch event coming up in October. We've got some great things happening. The last thing before I introduce you to our six-figure earner and one of the best is we've got an event coming up on June 2nd through the 4th in Las Vegas at the beautiful Green Valley Ranch Resort. It's absolutely beautiful. You can go to, I believe it's vegas.xango.com, which will take you to the link, or you can go to xango.com, scroll to the bottom, click on the event tab, click on the XBA, and you can find out all of the information on that. We've got world renowned Les Brown is going to be there. We've got founders coming. But for a lot of you who have, you guys have been looking at what XANGO's been doing with its product lineup and doing some of the things. Maybe you're like, what's going on? Some of those are my favorite products and they're going away. What are you guys doing? it's to make room for brand new products. And if you want to be on the ground floor opportunity to be able to see some of these new ones that are coming, you've got to be there in Vegas. You've got to be there to hear it first, see it first, experience it first. It's going to be there. I've worked with Joe and Gordon Morton, the brothers, for a long time. You guys know that they are passionate and exciting people. They love what they do. But honestly, in my 9 years of working with them, I've never seen them as excited as they are now. So make sure that you are in Vegas. We only have 1,000 seats that we're doing. This is just a small XBA. We're calling it a super XBA. Gordon says that it's kind of like a XANGO convention and an XBA got together and had a love child. That's what this event's going to be. So make sure you're there. Again, we can only accommodate 1,000 people at this event. So as soon as tickets are sold out, they're sold out. And so make sure we plug in and do that. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, somebody who I remember the very first time that I heard this man speak, I was just in awe. You know, his story is phenomenal. It's one that I think that I'm going to be very upset if this man does not write a book about his life, because it's such an inspirational story about understanding life and hitting challenges head on and overcoming them, and more importantly, helping millions of other people do the exact same thing. He is an inspiration to me. He's knowledgeable. He's he's only 21 years old, but he's got well over 30 years in this industry. But it's over a lifetime of building relationships, meaningful relationships that help people live better lives. And I'm grateful that I can consider myself one of those people, because he's truly been an inspiration to me and helped me live a better life. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to the one and only Mr. 500K multi-million-dollar earner, Ray Herron, and I get to call you my friend, so I'm excited about that. Ray, are you with us, my friend?
I am, my friend, and I'm very happy to be your friend. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Ryan, for such a over-the-top introduction. I'm embarrassed. You know, Ryan, I was sitting here and I was looking out at I got a bird feeder that hangs in the middle of the yard here in Florida, and I love watching the birds. And when I was a young boy, I had a BB gun, and much like maybe a lot of other people, I killed way too many birds. I'm sorry for everyone I ever killed as a small boy. When I see these beautiful birds God made today, it reminds me of how cruel I was as a young boy. And I'm glad I'm not there anymore, but I'm watching this red-headed woodpecker as we speak. And he's digging in. These are sunflower seeds. Many of you that feed birds, you'll know what I'm talking about. They get a little trash in them, when they harvest them. And man, this red-headed woodpecker, they rarely come to feeders, seed feeders anyway. But I've got one that just adores this feeder, and he just grabs and he throws, and he's throwing trash everywhere, looking for that perfect seed. And he reminds me of us networkers, hey, look, we're just sorting through people. That's what we're doing. And that's what that woodpecker's doing. He's just sorting through those seeds in the trash, trying to find the one that he's looking for. So for me, it's meaningful. And today, the topic is how to close. Let me share with you something. There's a couple of words that I really dislike. One of them is pitch. I don't think any of us want to be pitched on anything, and I don't like to be closed. If you start pitching me, you got no chance of closing me, if you will. Many of you know, you've heard me so many times, you're probably sick of hearing it, but there's a few things that I've always put in practice for 31 years now, and it's a 4-step process that I go through, even to this day. Not as much as I should be doing, but I know it works, and that's the reason that I do it. And I try to keep things so simple, so easy, that it's understandable. I believe if a 6th grader understands what you're trying to accomplish and can explain it to someone else, then I think you're on track. We've made the industry very complicated, and I go back to the early days, and I just try to remember all the things I did. XANGO's been the very best company we've ever been with, but it's our 4th major success. It's our fourth really large organization, and I've never changed. I've kind of always done the simple, basic things when I didn't have technology to rely on. Today we're so savvy technology. I mean, we can send people video links. We can do conference calls. When I got started, man, a conference call was a expensive thing to do. But we kind of got together, if you would, face to face. We drew diagrams of how you earn income in our business and all the things that truly did work. I mean, they built monsters. I think Amway did $13.3 billion this year. That's an incredible number. I can't even wrap my mind around it. But this is how we all started way back in the days. We're the old timers, I suppose. But I still do it today. And I follow a 4-step process. Number one, you and I are just looking for people to talk to. There's no shortage of people. They're everywhere. 330 million plus, I think, in our country alone. And, I'm just sorting through those people like that woodpecker is on the feeder out there. I'm just sorting through people, looking for those that are looking for me, so there's no shortage of them. Number two, when I find someone that interests me, and that's a real key, folks, I don't sponsor. I mean, everybody practices a 3-foot rule. Talk to everybody that comes within 3 foot of you. That's not me. It's never been me. I look for people that impress me, people that are fun to talk to, that got good manners, they have a smile on their face. There's a good chance that if I can somehow, some way, get a few moments with them to discuss my opportunity and my company, that I've at least got a good chance. So I look for those kinds of people. And number three, I share some information with them. Ryan, your power of three is just perfect. I mean, it's perfect. We got XANGO samples. I've always built behind samples. I am uncomfortable trying to sell somebody a bottle of anything. It's just not comfortable for me. And I know it's not comfortable for the person I am presenting to. Their guards are already up. They think I'm going to try to extract some money from them. So I want to remove all the fears that they might have and at the same time address the fears that I have, which is selling. I don't like to sell. I'm uncomfortable doing that. So I've always built using samples. XANGO's made it very affordable for us to do that. Most companies I was with, gosh, it wasn't uncommon for me to give a $30, $40, $50 sample to someone if they were the right person. So number one, look for people to talk to. Number two, share some information with them. Number three, follow up. Unbelievably important. Follow up with people. You got to follow up with them. And when number two in that two process, when I'm looking to give them some information, I want to set the parameters of the follow-up right then. I'm giving them some samples to try. Maybe I'm giving them a video link. I'm giving them something. I'm giving them some brochures. Whatever it is that your team is using, I want to let them know that I have a home-based business that I absolutely love with a company that I think is the best. And it could be something that they've been looking for. And if they'd take some time to evaluate it, I'd love to get their opinion. And I'm sincere. I'm genuine when I say that. And I'm not uncomfortable saying it because I've done it a million times. I was uncomfortable in the beginning, believe me. And so will you if you're new, but you'll get real comfortable with this process. So at the time you give them some samples, you want to set the follow-up date right then and there. If it's Tuesday, I want to give you a day and call you Thursday if I can and find out what's a great time for you. I don't want to interrupt anything that you're doing. You and I are probably going to have a 5-minute conversation. And so I want to set that date at the time I give you some information. And number four, now is the time I get together with you. Once you've evaluated the product, you and I have had a conversation or two on the phone, I want to be able to get down to the details of presenting to you, not closing. I want to be a good presenter of my opportunity, of my company, and just how it is that I have this home-based business. And I used to do this all of the time when I started, and I still do it when I can. And I found that I can do this whether I'm visiting with you at the local restaurant or in your office or wherever we may be. I can do this. Or if I'm doing this and you're across the world and we're on the phone, I'll ask you to get a piece of paper. Once you and I have got some commonality here, and I'm going to tell you how it is that we build our business, I'm going to ask you to get involved with me. My mentor, praise God for Mr. Jim Rohn, he taught me this. He said, look, if you can paint the promise, people will pay the price. Now, for me, in our industry, in our business here at XANGO, we've got to paint the promise. We got to show people just how what we do works, how it grows over time. We got to show people this, and we got to take a little time to do it. We can't be pitching somebody. We want to get them involved, and we want them to make a favorable decision to our opportunity. Not that we close them. And so I will ask them to get a piece of paper, and I'll show them the very basics. Now, this industry has always frowned on income projections, and I understand that, believe me, because there's some great presenters in the world, and they are closers. Don't misunderstand me. They can close me and you if we're not careful. They are so convincing, and they get crazy with their numbers. I want to meet people where they are in life. And I would say to you, if I put you through the 3 processes, number 4, by the way, I didn't mention that, but that's a team call. That's once you've got them involved and you're going to put them on the phone with Ryan Anderson. But I want to show them just exactly how we do our business, and I'm going to show them. I don't think the federal government or anybody else are going to be offended if Ray Herron shows somebody how to put some serious part-time effort into their XANGO business and show them a way, not a guaranteed way, but a way in that they can progress over a period of time, reasonable time, to earn an extra $26,472 a year. Now, that may not trip everybody's trigger in the world. People that want to make more money, by the time they get through with my presentation, not my pitch, they're going to know that there's a whole lot more involved in this if that's what they want. But most people out there, believe me, an extra $26,000 plus a year, it's lifestyle change. It gives you options that you couldn't even imagine. Man, when I started network marketing so broke I couldn't pay attention, somebody showed me how to make an extra $26,000 a year. I was in. I was going to listen. So I'll have them get a piece of paper, and I'll tell them this simply. Here's what we do. Here's the very basics of what we do. If you decide to get involved with me, number one, you're going to get me, and I tell people, this is a bad thing, but I'm kind of joking. I laugh when I say it. I say, look, I'm the best there is. You're going to get me for free. I'm going to work with you, whatever hours you can commit to this. You and I are going to work together. And here's what we do. I'm going to ask you, it's this old thing you've heard a million times, I'm going to ask you to make a list of everybody you know. Make it as long as you can. Don't worry about calling all these people. You're not ever going to get to all of them. That's not how our business works. But just make a long list. Just start writing names down of people that you barely know, people you just met, people you've known all your life. Just write them down. And you and I, we're going to work together, and we're going to use our 4-step process, and we are going to start sorting through these people. And our goal, me and you, is to find 3 people. 3 people. That's all. And we're going to find 3 people that have been through this process, and we've been through this with them, and they've said yes. And we're going to ask that they do a minimum, probably, of 100 PV per month in our business. Most of us would say for sure that that's not a whole lot of money, but at least it's a commitment. Get on our XANGO juice, get on our Limitless, get on our, whatever you like, get on our Aries products. But we're going to get 3 people involved at $100 each, and the volume is $300 a month, every month. And the company pays you 2%, you're making $6 a month. And now you got to have a little vision at this point, and I point that out to people. This is just getting started here. And all of us are going to have a duplication model. We're just going to do the same thing. And I say, when these 3 people that you and I have got, now me and you and those 3 are working together, we're going to help them get their 3. Now we got 9 people on our level 2, and they're doing the same thing. Nobody's doing anything any different. They're doing $100, and you got $900 in volume. Company pays you 5%. That's $45 a month. You're now making $51 a month, and you're making progress. And level 3, when all these 9 people get their 3, you now got 27 people, and the company pays you 5%. I have them write this down when we're talking on the phone. And I'll go back and I'll say, now, did you write level 1? You got 3 people doing 100? Yes. I get them to agree with me. Now, level 4, when these 27 people get their 3, they don't work perfectly like this. I know this, and they know it too. I said, but this is how it works. And in level 4, when the 27 get their 3, you got 81 people. They're all doing the same 100 PV a month. You got 8,100 in volume. Company pays you 5%. That's $405 a month. You know, you're making more progress every month here. Level 5, now when those 81, these numbers start really adding up. When 81 get their 3, you got 243 people. Everybody's doing $100. Nobody's killing themselves. We're just all doing $100 and getting our 3. Now you have 24,300 volume on level 5, and the company pays you 5%. That's $1,215. And I will draw a line, and I'll ask them to. So draw a line underneath that 5. Right below that, I want you to put level 6, draw an arrow down to level 9. I said, now the company pays through level 6 through level 9, but you and I can't even begin to talk about just how powerful that is until we get you through level 5. So let's get you to level 5. When I add all these up, you're at $1,806 per month in income. You obviously have qualified for the lifestyle bonus of $400. You add that up, that's $2,206 a month. It's 12 months in a year. That's $26,472 a year. And I would say, Ryan, that's exactly how we build these things. Just like that. Nobody killing themselves. Nobody really stretching themselves to an area where they're uncomfortable. And I will ask the question. It's okay to ask for the order. It really is. If you want to call it close, you can. I don't. I ask them to make a decision. Ryan, we've been through this. You kind of see how this works. You know you've got my undivided attention. I'm available to you. Anytime you need me, I'm going to help you do this. You will not be doing it by yourself. We got the greatest company, greatest tools in the world. Can you see yourself putting in some part-time hours and you and I doing this together? And I'm listening carefully. And if Ryan says, well, I think so, great. Let's get you going. And right there, it's okay, and I've been known to say it many times. Well, let's get you started. Do you want to use MasterCard? Do you want to use Visa, American Express, Discovery, all the cards we take? And you'd be amazed at how many people you'll start getting in your business, because here's why. As Jim Rohn would say, you have painted the promise here. You've given them a schematic, if you will, about how this thing works. And when you get them involved with you, they're writing all this down themselves, and they can see how this progresses. Now, that's a much bigger picture than me standing behind a microphone or somewhere acting like Mr. Big Shot pitching somebody. And like I said, people don't want to be pitched. They want to be involved. And, Ryan, it may sound crude and elementary, but believe me, my friend, it's made us millions and millions of dollars in our 30 years of doing this. And so that's kind of my contribution to a close.
I like it. I like it. One of the things that I think that I took out of that the most, Ray, and I hope that all of you guys were taking notes, and Ray puts it in such a way that even I can understand it, which is not saying a lot, Ray. But one of the things that I like most about what you were saying is that it's not about trying to close somebody or trying to sell somebody. It's really working with that individual and seeing how you can help them, how you can partner with them, and how you can help them realize what you've come to realize, and that this is a lifestyle. And that's really, you guys have probably heard me say this quote a million times, but it still stands true today, and that's why I keep saying it. Is in John Maxwell's book, Putting Your Dreams to the Test. He says disappointment is the gap between people's dreams and the reality. And this whole process in which Ray just talked about was every one of us, I think, in life, we have some sort of disappointment. We're looking for something. We're looking for more time, more money, more freedom, an opportunity to belong to something that we can't do on our own. And it's our responsibility to help others bridge that gap between their dreams and the reality so that they don't have disappointment. And really, Ray, what you're talking about isn't necessarily selling or closing. It's simply connecting people to what it is that they're looking for. So I really appreciate, you coming on the call and sharing from your heart and doing that. And the one thing that I think stands true, or I know stands true, is that you don't preach things that you don't do or that you haven't done or that you don't know that doesn't work. There's a lot of posers, a lot of fakers out there, especially in this industry. I always say that those that can't do teach. And I love the fact that you do this on a daily basis. This isn't something that you just talk about. And so I really appreciate it. So my follow-up question for you, Ray, is what chapter of the book are you in that you're writing?
Well, I'll talk about the title. We've all heard "As a Man Thinketh," you know. The title is "As a Man Doeth." I think doeth is real important. You can think about it all day long, and that's a wonderful book by Mr. Allen. There's no doubt about it. But it's the doing is where the money comes from.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it. Rubber meeting the road. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
you know, Ryan, some people on the call would say, well, you didn't mention anything about Power Starts. You didn't mention Customer Connect. You didn't mention the customer incentives. You didn't mention the iBonus. And I want you to know that I bring that up in a conversation, but let me tell you, I give it almost no energy. I want them to just see this thing, how just very easily it flows. I want them to see that. If I start into Power Start, then I'm going to have to answer 30 questions. If I start into Customer Connect, I'm going to have to answer 30 questions. You know what I mean? I want to get them involved.
Yeah.
We can discuss all this other once I got it.
Those are just icing on the cake. You know, you're getting into the meat and potatoes, and that's really the duplication is where the real fortune's at. You know, all that upfront cash is great, and we have it there to incentivize people, but really it's a carrot to help get people to that next step, and that's the duplication, and that's where the real fortune is earned, is in the duplication and leveraging relationships and time and all of those other things. So could not agree with you more, my friend. So thank you for bringing that up as well. So, and I think that, you know, we've got just a few more minutes left on this call, but as we try to keep them all right around 30 minutes, you know, maybe you could talk on that just for a second too. I think that a lot of times people, when they're, you know, doing the business, a lot of times they'll talk people into doing the business with them, and then they'll talk them out of doing the business all in the same conversation because they just keep talking and talking and talking.
You're right. You're right. I want to get to that credit card part as soon as I can, if I can. You know, I still, you know, people say, well, people won't give me their credit card. I have people give me their credit cards all the time. I mean, I've never really had a major issue. I mean, once in a while, yes, of course. And I tell them that's not a problem. We can put you in online. You can, you know, I can get you in with customer service at the company if that's a problem, but it almost never is. And you're right. A lot of people talk themselves right out of it. There's a time to ask for the order, and after the presentation is done, and you'll get really good at presenting, and you'll get comfortable with it, and you'll be genuine. You see, I've just worked with people so long. They only buy our genuineness. They don't buy anything else, and people want to polish up and take someone else's presentation. Hey, just be yourself. If it's uncomfortable for you when you're talking to people, just let them know. Just say, hey, I'm a little uncomfortable with this. I'm kind of new at it, but I sure do like the philosophy, and I'm connected with some friends that are doing extremely well in this business. And I've decided that this is for me, and I don't know whether it's for you or not, but I think you might have some interest if you see how it works. You know what I mean? Just tell them. If you're uncomfortable, heck, tell them. That's all right. People go, man, I'm so important that I'm making Ryan uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And to that same point, too, I think that sometimes if we don't ask for the credit card, if we don't ask for them, you know, when they want to get started, I think sometimes that little bit of skepticism on your part casts a little bit of doubt in their head, or maybe even might offend them that maybe they're not important enough for you to ask, that you're just practicing on them for somebody else too, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a great point. It's a great point.
Yeah. So let's make sure that we're not making the decision for other people on and for their behalf. You know, present them with the facts, connect them to their, you know, bridge that gap between their dreams and their reality, and then let them come to the same conclusion that you came to, and connect them to their dreams. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. We're connectors. We're not salespeople. We're simply connecting them to what they're doing, and get good at telling your story. Because, you know, a lot of times when you're telling your story, you're not just convincing them, you're convincing yourself too. And that's, you know, we gotta make sure that we're doing that as well. So Mr. Ray Herron,
Absolutely. And just always remember. Oh, I'm sorry. I
no,
just one comment.
No,
just always,
yes,
always remember my woodpecker story. You know, you and I are just. Hey, we're just sorting through people looking for us. When you go through this process with a few people and it don't seem to work out for you, here's what I want you to tell yourself. You know what? How could I present this a little better? Could I be a little more comfortable with it? Could I be a little more genuine? But then in the end say, well, you know what? Maybe I did this presentation perfectly. You'll know when you do a good job. And this just wasn't the one I was looking for. That's all. I mean, you know, we're not going to get everybody. Heck, you know, my mentor, Jim Rohn, says if you get 3 out of 10, you're an expert. And the best part about what we do is, boy, you get 1 or 2 out of 10. You get good enough to get 1 or 2 out of 10, you're on your way to building an empire, aren't you, Ryan?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So, well, Mr. Ray Herron, you are an inspiration. You're an incredible individual, and the XANGO Nation, the XANGO family is certainly blessed to have you in our lives. So thank you so much for all that you do for us each and every day. Thank you for getting on this call and sharing from your heart, sharing your wisdom. It's indeed a pleasure. And please tell that beautiful wife of yours, Cheryl, hello for all of us. And God bless you, my friend. Thank you for all that you do.
I will, my friend. Thank you so much, and thanks everybody for investing a little time with me today. And Ryan, once again, you know, it won't be adequate, but thank you so very much for all of the hard work that you do. You're amazing. I see you working early in the morning, late at night, and it's sometimes 7 days a week. Unbelievable commitment, and we are absolutely blessed to have you here. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that you got something out of that call. I know I did. Now, as Ray said, don't just think it, do it. Take it, go out and apply it. You know, one of the things that I found through my studies and through my education is that once you've learned and understand the principle, the way that you go out and make it a habit is go out and apply it today. Go out and find somebody. Maybe it's somebody already on your team. Maybe it's already, you know, somebody that you've got on the hook. Maybe it's somebody that you've talked to. Maybe it's the neighbor that you're going to go out and mow the lawn next to today. Go out and apply what you learned today, and I guarantee you that these principles will benefit and bless your life. I guarantee you that will happen. So make sure you go out and apply it today. Go out and use it. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for coming on the call. Thank you for being a part of this amazing company. On behalf of the owners and everybody here at the company, we're grateful for you. We're grateful for all that you do for us. Let's go out and finish the month strong, and let's go out and make this the best year yet because you deserve it. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. Thanks, Ryan.